One thing which I think everybody is aiming for is actually to make sure that they make the most out of their study session, especially if you have a lot of work that you have to cover. Having an effective study session is absolute key. So we are all aiming for 100% effectiveness, although that is something which I think is impossible, but that's the aim anyway. So there are a lot of things that are going to contribute to how effective your study session is going to be, but one of the important factors that are going to do this is actually focus. So that is the topic that we're going to talk about today, and if you think that is something that you're interested in, stick around. Hello everyone, my name is Simon, a second year medical student at the University of Zambia. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I share about study techniques, study tips, productivity tips, and a lot of other things. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to focus as you study. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about the things that you do when you are into the study session. That is when you've already started studying, the things that you can do. However, there are some other things that you have to do before you get into a study session to ensure that it is effective. And those things, I talked about them in one of my previous videos, which I think you should check out if you haven't. It is about the things that you should do before you get into a study session. So be sure to check that video out, for I think it is high yield and it is going to be better if you watch both, so that you can benefit from all the information. Okay, so number one on our list for today is pretty basic but very important. Something which I believe everybody knows but does not really pay attention is to actually remove all distractions. Now, when I say remove all distractions, a lot of people are going to think do not study in a noisy place, do not study where people are passing, which is actually true, but I think everybody knows that. But one thing which really distracts you, which I think is a major factor which distracts people, is actually your phone. So you really need to be disciplined with your phone, especially if you're also using your phone as you are studying. Now, the way it is focus. The brain does not focus like a switch. It does not just focus, as in it is a process. It transitions into focus as you are into your study session. As time goes on, you'll be more and more focused. So every single time you disrupt that by replying to a text or trying to check out what the notification is about, or answering a call, you disrupt that process. So that distraction is going to affect you such that you have to start that process all over again. So remember to be very focused, or rather to be very disciplined with your phone. Put it on do not disturb and make sure that you do not go into social media and other things that are going to distract you. Number two on our list, to actually take breaks. Now this is very important actually, especially if you're studying long hours. If you're a medical student, you have to study long hours. You have no choice. There is no two ways around it. So you actually have to take breaks. So now the way you take breaks systematically. You don't just decide, let me take a break. One thing you can use is the Pomodoro technique, a quite famous technique which I think most of you know. So for those who do not know what the Pomodoro technique is, it is simply studying for 25 minutes and then taking a break for 5 minutes. Now, this is not something which they just did randomly. Actually, there are some researchers which prove that the brain can focus optimally around that time range of 25 minutes. Now, of course, this is going to depend from person to person. Like, for example, me, I try to work around those numbers and I study for 30 minutes and then take a rest of 3 minutes. So 3 to 5 minutes is enough to reboot yourself. So taking a break is actually essential to your focus, but the good part is you don't need to take a very long break. So the Pomodoro technique is you study for 25 minutes, rest for 5 minutes. You repeat that cycle 4 times, meaning 4 segments of 25 minutes, and then after those 4 segments you actually rest now for 25 minutes. So after that 25 minutes you can go back and then start the process all over again of studying 25 minutes and then resting for 5 minutes. So remember to just play around with the numbers, do something which is comfortable, and just remember to stick around those ranges. Do not go to extremes if you really want to focus, especially if you're studying for long hours, as I said. So you can actually study for 30 minutes, rest for 3 minutes like I do, if that will be good for you. So in your break, you can do anything. You can drink water, you can go to the bathroom, you can listen to a song, yeah, you can do anything, especially that thing which is not really related to what you're studying, because you're trying to give yourself a break. So just remember to be disciplined also in this stage, because if you start going into social media, it is highly that you're going to spend more than 3 minutes, which is going to waste a lot of time. So be disciplined on what you do during those breaks. Just make sure that they are high yield and that you can easily get back into your study session after that time of rest. Okay, so the third thing on our list is actually to listen to some music. Now there have been some researches that have taken place about studying always listening to music, and one of the things which I have read is it is actually helpful, although it is a bit personal. Not everybody is going to enjoy studying with music, but music should play the role of some kind of white noise, such that it should shield you from outside noise, those distractions. So the kind of music that you listen to as you are studying is of importance. Actually, you don't study with music that has got lyrics, because that is going to distract you. So you don't want to be studying with your favorite song, or especially even hip-hop, rock music. So you really want to stick yourself to just sounds, maybe piano sounds, guitar strings, or any sounds which are not going to be something that you have to focus on, as in you don't have to focus on interpreting the music. It is something that should just build an ambience. One thing which I like is there are a lot of apps out there. I use a certain app which is called Study Music. It has got a free version which I use. Actually, it has got good tracks, some alpha waves, beta waves, and I also like the fact that you can add some natural sounds to it, as in you can add birds chirping, you can add rains, you can add waves. So it builds that ambience, and you are not likely to get distracted, especially if you're studying in a place which is prone to some noise of some sort. So remember to study with some music that is it is actually personal, that is if you can manage. But remember to study with music that is soft and that has got no lyrics. Do not listen to music that has got lyrics as you are studying. That is going to distract you. Of course, as you are studying with music that has got lyrics, you're going to do some studying, of course. I do not mean that maybe you're going to be distracted throughout. You are going to study, but the chances of you focusing optimally with music that has got lyrics are very low. Hence, you really want to just keep it for another time and use a specific type of music when you are studying, and not music with lyrics. Okay, so the fourth thing on our list for today is to actually use active techniques as you are studying. Now, what I mean by active techniques is you do not want to study passively, as in reading just as if it is a novel or a newspaper. So you want to use techniques that are going to involve you actively, and some of these techniques can be something like the Feynman technique, which I won't go into details to talk about because I've already made a video about that. You should probably check it out if you don't know what the Feynman technique is, because it is a very high yield study technique and you shouldn't be missing out on such information. So the Feynman technique is going to keep you engaged throughout, because you're going to be asking questions, you're going to be trying to connect ideas. So it is going to make you work. Actually, your brain is going to work. Yeah. And if it is a revision session, you can actually use active recall instead of just reading. The fact that using active recall will ensure that you're actually putting your brain to work, and also it is going to improve the chances of you remembering the things that you are revising, because active recall has been scientifically proven to actually cement, or rather to make your memory of something really strong. The fifth thing on our list today is actually to appreciate the subject or the topic that you're studying. Now, I understand the fact that mostly we have to study for exams. Exams are a way of testing if we have understood the information that we are supposed to learn, but most instances we get carried away by studying for exams that we forget to appreciate the topic or the subject that we are studying. Now, it is important to study for exams specifically, because just studying to know and studying for exams are a bit two different things. But mostly you want to take a step back. What I mean by this is, as you are studying, don't really think about the exam, just try to appreciate the subject that you are studying. Now, this can be done with any subject, although the levels of interest are going to vary depending on the subject that you like, of course. Yeah, but what you want to do is, for example, I'm a medical student. Let me say I'm studying anatomy. Instead of thinking of an anatomy exam or a test, I would rather first try to appreciate the information that I'm learning, as in the human body is complex. It is very complex, very phenomenal, and how all the things can be isolated, and yet when you study them you find that they are just working in conjunction to each other for some common goals for the functioning of the human body. It is really fascinating, such that it is interesting, so you get to appreciate the fact that you are studying that subject. So that puts you in an attitude where you are willing to learn, and it also emphasizes the issue of relevance of information. Now, the way the brain works, I don't know if people know this. Your brain is bombarded with a lot of information, as in if you are just walking from one place to another, you are going to look at a lot of things, a lot of words, words on people's clothes, words on signposts, all that. The brain is able to perceive that, but the brain has got a way of determining what is relevant, so it is only going to remember the things which are relevant. Now, if you are appreciating the subject and trying to find the interest in it, the brain is going to see that as relevant information, hence you are even likely to remember it more, as an addition of you focusing more. Because when you are interested in a subject, you are not going to view it mainly as a chore or a burden, but rather a pleasure. You are going to enjoy your studying. Now, of course, this is not going to happen in any instance. To be realistic, studying sometimes can be a daunting task that you have to get into painfully, and you have to get motivated as you are in it. That is a concept which I talked about in the things that you can do to get and stay motivated. That is another video which I think you should watch. If you haven't, check out my videos. That video is also high yield and it's going to help you a lot. So regardless of how daunting the task of studying can be, you can actually try to convince yourself to actually just learn to appreciate the subject. That is going to put you in a much better state, and you're going to focus much better, and probably even study for much longer. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope you liked this video. If you like the content that I'm producing on this channel, remember to subscribe to my channel, share this video and like. Also subscribe if you think you just want to hang with me, or subscribe also if you just want to support me. There are no restrictions. Remember to also comment down in the comment section below. That comment section is for you guys. As I always say, I read and reply to all comments. Give me your counter thoughts, give me some of your tips for focusing that you think I should also learn, as I also look forward to learning from you guys. Also give your counter thoughts. If you disagree with anything that I say here, you have got the right to say it, and we are going to look into it so that we can come up with the things that are going to work and build each other up. So see you next time.